Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on the second part of making your own bird for spring. I've got my two pieces of fabric here and I'm going to start by placing the belly of the bird with the marks that I made with those felt pens to cut it out, facing up towards me. And I'm going to match the corner of the fan tail, the tail end of the belly shape, the one that looks like a fish, the pale blue, with the shape underneath, and I'm just going to pin those together. Working your way around from that corner, you'll find it a lot easier to join these two shapes in the right way. This is because the two pieces of fabric joined together will eventually form a three-dimensional shape, and I found it the best way to start is to start with matching the tail end of both of those shapes. You'll have a much better template because I didn't draw around my blue fabric, but as you can see, those are the two matched shapes that fit on the templates. So keep pinning around and make sure that you match the edges, even if it doesn't feel like it should match. As you might be able to see, there is a bit of crease underneath on that dark blue fabric as I'm pinning along. That doesn't matter, that's absolutely as it should be. So long as the edges match, you're doing the right thing. So long as it, even though it might not look like it's going to be the right shape, just keep pinning the two pieces of fabric. It's not going to reach the end either. It's going to look something a bit like this, as you can see. And what I'm going to do next is that extra piece, that other side of the tail, I'm going to pin in exactly the same way. So you don't want to stitch the end of the bird. You just want to stitch where I've run my finger along there. Now I've stitched that one side of the two pieces of fabric together, starting from the tail end. Starting from the other side of the tail, I'm going to pin the other side. So I'm just showing you how the pale blue belly of the bird, when you finished pinning each side from the tail end along, ought to be the flat piece of fabric. So once you've laid it down on your surface, you'll see that the bird is starting to take shape. There is the beak and the body of the bird, and that's kind of created a natural fold, and the two sides of the beak will meet like this, and then underneath the bird will be that piece of fabric will be flat on the surface. So you just want to stitch around that side. Okay, so once you've done that, you will have stitched from the top of the head along to the beak and all the way to the belly and down to the end of the tail, and you'll start to see the shape of the bird take place. So it's good to get the stitches quite firm so that when you turn the bird inside out, they hold, and you will have left the end of the bird's tail open so that you can do this, and then you're going to stuff it with your wadding or sheep's wool or pillow stuffing. I'm going to do that now, and then sometimes you might need to put a pen or something towards the end of the bird's beak because that's the narrowest part. So when you're just gently pulling it inside out, you'll see the bird take shape and you won't get your stitches then, so you'll have a nice clear join, and you'll be doing this from the bird's tail end. The beak is going to be the one that might need a bit more attention, so I'm using a pen there just to sort of prod the shape of the bird into place. And then all that's left to do then is to stuff it with some wadding. Also put some bird eyes on it, and I've used some buttons for mine. Also, you might see on the photograph that I've reinforced the beak of my bird. That's because the template that I drew was left a bit to be desired, so I just stitched along the top of the beak. That's okay because it might add to the flavour of, or the not the flavour, the way that your bird is finally going to look like. I've added some wings as well, so I've just done a bit of stitching and I've added a bit of patterned fabric on either side of my bird. In the photograph you might see that. So you could decorate your bird however you like, and buttons are really nice for eyes, but you could use other things. You could even just do a few stitches to give the eyes some definition. And then that's all that's left. I hope you've really enjoyed this workshop, and I would love to know whether you're going to make lots of birds and make a mobile or just hang them from the ceiling, and really enjoy making this little toy, and have a wonderful week. Bye.